Pregame Show.
Early season's greetings, NBA fans. I'm Ernie Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Got Shaquille O'Neal here. Got Kenny the Jet Smith here for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll be watching the Los Angeles Clippers playing against the Phoenix Suns. And guys, for the Suns, they are hungry for a win here. Last season, they got swept by this team. 4 straight losses, something they haven't forgotten. And as we take a few moments here, Shaq, the term basketball IQ is constantly thrown around these days. What exactly is meant by that? Because I don't have it.
Ernie, I have
basketball
no
IQ.
idea. You know, you can be smarter than me if you want to. You can be a Rhodes Scholar, but you know what I will do to you. Doesn't necessarily mean you make good decisions on the basketball court. Basketball IQ, that term is overrated.
Maybe Kenny has an answer to this one.
Well, I think most people, when they first hear about it, they're talking about seeing the floor, having the ability to operate in the flow of the game and understand the time and score relationship. That's what a basketball IQ is. Like not taking a three-point shot with 24 seconds on the shot clock when you're up 9.
Not fouling a jump shoot.
Yeah, that's basketball IQ.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Harlan has a very high basketball IQ. Shaq has it too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like it.
I went to BYB, Bust Your Butt University.
We're coming at you from the Staples Center in beautiful downtown Los Angeles as the Clippers prepare to take the floor. Looking at that last game for the Los Angeles Clippers, it was a win against Sacramento.
And across the board in that game, guys, they shot the lights out.
Rarely do you see a team shoot like that from everybody. I mean, they were getting scoring from every position all over the court.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court for the Suns, they've got Sonny Weems. Markieff Morris is out there with Chandler. Then there's Warren, and it's Bledsoe in at the 1. Well, last year, DeAndre Jordan turned in another great defensive performance. In fact, first team all-defense announced in the NBA after last season. Anchored his team as it always seems to do.
Yeah, and Jordan was a force in the middle, over 2 blocks a game again, and changed countless others with his effort.
Got that one up quick.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
Crawford kicks to Griffin. Back to Crawford. 3-pointer. Comes out of the gate empty. He's 0 for 1.
You can't miss those, but even the best do on occasion.
Here's Bledsoe. Blake Griffin pulls it in.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Paul kicks to Griffin. Drops it in from 11 feet. And we're about a minute and a half into the first quarter. Chandler with the screen on Paul. Bledsoe, and a little luck that time, but it drops. Bledsoe's got his second basket of the night.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Paul with the bucket.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Now here's Bledsoe. Lets it go from 14.
Yeah, good tough D there to get a hand up and force that miss.
That's example number 1 of why he is such a strong defensive player and why he has such a great defensive reputation.
Offensive rebound for Phoenix. They've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Warren kicks to Bledsoe. And it's off the back rim. No good.
Major defensive lapse right there. He's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Paul.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Here's Bledsoe. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Kicks it to Weems. And the pass to Warren. Bledsoe dishes to Weems. Good ball movement here by the Suns. They now take the lead. Morris has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Phoenix Suns come into this one following a loss to the Trailblazers in Portland.
And the effort down the stretch, those final few minutes of regulation, that's what they needed, but they were burnt out in the overtime.
Yeah, that's a good call, Greg. I mean, there was a little bit of a letdown for them in OT, and that can happen after you expend so much energy just to force the overtime.
Here's Weems after Paul Pierce's score. Bledsoe for 3. No good. The Clippers go the other way with it. This game against Phoenix, here's the first look at the Suns.
And they rolled over this team last season, beating them every time they faced off.
Not a lot of competition, really. I mean, they're playoff caliber and took care of business against a team that wasn't playoff caliber and maybe still isn't.
What a year for the Suns in terms of transactions. Start of the season with Dragic and Thomas on the roster and moved them both, Clark, at the deadline.
And, most folks saw the Dragic trade coming after his disagreements with the team. The Thomas trade was a bit of a surprise, though.
Now here's Griffin following the miss by Eric Bledsoe. Jordan the screen. He was all alone on that one. Crawford's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
And as you said, the Suns made a flurry of deals at the deadline. You knew they would move one guard, but ended up moving 2, brought back 1 as well.
The Suns ranked in the NBA last season. 3rd in fast break points, 6th in steals. And they were one of the top 10 teams in the league at scoring points off turnovers. I'd call them a very opportunistic team.
And as you pointed out, when it came to running the break, I mean, they were terrific. They left teams really just grasping for breath and unable to match that breakneck pace.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Josh Smith, he's checked in for Griffin. Johnson comes in for Paul Pierce. And it's Austin Rivers in for Chris Paul. Now here's Knight. Clock at 6. And they get it. The long distance 3 is buried. Knight's got himself on the board with 3 there. Clippers leading by 3. And sometimes it feels like Brandon Knight is the Rodney Dangerfield of the NBA. The poor guy just doesn't get much respect.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. Through the end of last season, he'd already been on 3 teams in 5 hand. Be disrespectful, but teams recognize his ability too.
Now here's Crawford. They just can't get the lid off. 40 seconds left to play here in the first. A shot by Knight, no good.
And on the topic of Brandon Knight, you have to wonder why he's been traded around so much. I mean, it wasn't due to a slow start because he made the All-NBA rookie first team. He's smart, had himself to be a clutch shooter, and the kind of guy you know about dealing
Yes.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Knight. And that one's on target from the wing. Knight's got 5.
I really hope he doesn't try that move again. It worked the one time, but he's not the guy to be working the crossover.
1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. The Clippers on top, up by 1. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. And let's hear from Tyson Chandler. He talked about what he brings to this team.
I do a lot that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. That's what I pride myself on. You know, some nights you're not going to get the ball, but you still can be effective on the floor. Whether that's rebounding, playing defense, hustling, trying to create extra shots for your team. Whatever it is necessary that I feel like help my team get a win.
Chandler has long been the kind of player all coaches want on their team. He's the definition, Greg, of an unselfish player who doesn't care about his ego or his stats.
And he knows that and prides himself on it. That also makes him the kind of player his teammates appreciate so much because they know nobody wins any rings without a guy like Tyson Chandler on the team.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Well, the anticipation's been better. As the ball hits the rim, it's gone right to them. Solid job of them chasing it down and anticipating.
On the court right now, second quarter starting for the Suns. PJ Tucker is out there with John Lewis. Then there's Brandon Knight, and it's Sonny Weems. And it's Len in at the 5, roaming the paint. Picked by Griffin. Pierce attacking. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. Pierce has got the opening basket here in the second quarter for the Clippers. Yes, fans, Clark, and the one team they view as floppers is the Clippers. I don't like that word, but just kind of came out. Whether that is fair or not is up for debate, but it is certainly, I think, the perception.
And I think there's some truth to that perception. I mean, multiple players have received fines for flopping on their roster. I mean, you can't run away from that, and the fans remember it, too.
Oh, they do, yes, sir. Here's Rivers. The Suns getting the bucket. Lets it go. Knight grabs the board. The Suns trailing, and Phoenix pushing it up now. Here's Tucker. Here's Weems, and that misses. That would have put him up.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there. If the defense offers just a little bit of resistance, he doesn't take it up quite strong enough.
Kept alive. Another shot, and it's finished off by Smith as he lays it in. And the Clippers lead by 3.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
The shot by Knight, no good.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
Suns trail by 3. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Out to the right wing. Weems passes to Len, and he dunks it down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that. They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half.
And the Suns call time.
Chris Paul, guys, for the last decade, the best point guard in the NBA. Now, there's some new competition for that distinction, though, with Steph Curry breaking through to NBA stardom. And it's always exciting to watch these two go head-to-head.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, guys. I had a chance to find out what Jeff Hornacek was discussing with his players. He made no mistake that their plan was to run their offense through Morris. coach is looking for big things from him throughout the rest of this game on the offensive end. A lot of the scoring burden will fall on him. Well, coach not wasting any time in tweaking the game plan. We'll see if it makes a difference as we approach halftime, Kevin.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. How would you compare Chris Paul and Steph Curry?
Well, Steph Curry is just an off-the-chart shooter. I think the best in the history of the game in overall shot making and creativity as far as shooting goes. Paul is more of an orchestrator, a maestro supreme.
Here is Paul, following the basket by Markieff Morris. Pierce wide open, he fires, and it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
Griffin created the space for that shot.
Knight kicks to Bledsoe. Morris a screen. Fires for three. 8 points for Markieff Morris.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Usually you talk about how tough a player is, and you're always talking about big guys. But Chris Paul is as tough as they come playing that little point guard position.
Yeah, he's a power pack when you look at him. I mean, he's played through a lot of injuries and still has a big-time impact on the game. Most recently in the playoffs, he played through injury to beat the Spurs.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Jordan, he's checked in for Smith. Johnson comes in for Pierce. And it's Crawford in for Rivers.
And last year, you could see Paul was hobbled in their loss to the Rockets in the second round. Still, most players wouldn't even have made it back out on the floor, much less been as effective as he was during the postseason.
Now here's Johnson. After T.J. Warren's miss, Crawford kicks to Griffin. Kicks it out to Johnson. Shoots the three. And that is good. Johnson's got his first 3 points of the game.
Not too much respect shown to him by the defenders.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about Paul. He doesn't need to be blazing fast or quick to beat you. He can play seemingly on one leg and still dismantle a defense.
Now here's Booker. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Near the three-point line, it's Bledsoe. That one a little long.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
DeAndre Jordan has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, you know, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round, and he's made good on it, though.
He's off on the second.
And watching DeAndre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen zero drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness, but no question he's improved his skills and IQ.
Here's Paul, following the basket by Markieff Morris. Outside Jordan. Passes it to Paul. Jordan the screen. Griffin sets the screen for Paul. From deep three-point range, no good. Booker can't hit. And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Clippers lead by 2. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Tyson, coming off the loss in the last game, it seems like you guys are playing with a renewed intensity here tonight. What's been the difference?
Well, we just can't allow them to stay around close. You know, last night we had to let down. Tonight we got to do a better job of getting down, staying our ground, playing defense, and taking advantage of this game.
Tyson, thank you for the time. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the start of the second half in the third quarter.
the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. A pretty close game for the Clippers throughout the first quarter. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
They were clearly a better shooting team. Their play calling and execution were on point. It wasn't a dominant performance, but you did get an idea of how efficient they can be. They'll need to continue that kind of shooting if they want to pull away in the second half.
And over to Shaq. What did you think about Phoenix?
They haven't gotten to the line enough, and I think that's an area they can improve. They need to be more aggressive. Right now they're hanging there, but this could change in the second half. They need to challenge defenders and try to control the momentum and get to the foul line a little bit more.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first two quarters. We've seen Markieff Morris really having a great game.
And his play in that first half, how about the discipline to go along with the efficiency, guys? His shot selection was just perfect.
I agree. I mean, whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense is giving him and not trying to do too much. Very much playing within himself.
Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan. Ball and Crawford pair up at the 1 and 2. And it's Pierce in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Doc Rivers.
One thing about Eric Bledsoe, he made it clear he wanted to be paid like an upper-tier player, and that led to quite a negotiation between he and the Suns last year. Ultimately, the two sides agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal.
Talking about Eric Bledsoe's contract, many insiders felt like it was too much for a sporadic talent. We knew that he was the good backup in Los Angeles with the Clippers and going to Phoenix in a more prominent role. You know, but he went on to have a dynamic season, proving that, you know, Greg, and you know this position so well, he has the ability to be one of the best league's combo guards, I think.
I agree. I mean, consistency will tell the tale when it comes to Bledsoe. I mean, the rebounds and assists, the averages were up last year, but his shooting percentages were down. So is Bledsoe a near max level player? Only time will tell.
Now here's Pierce. Griffin dishes to Jordan, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
Now Crawford, after Markieff Morris's three-pointer that didn't go.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Now here's Bledsoe. 6 points for him. Over in the corner, Warren. He dishes it to Weems. No good on the triple. Los Angeles leading by 4. Paul kicks to Jordan. Griffin against Morris. Fades back. Bank shot, no good. Phoenix has gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Chandler with a screen for Bledsoe. Here's Warren. Makes good on the step-back jumper. Warren's got his first 2 points of the night.
Wow, you don't see him make plays like that very often. That's a nice move there for the basket.
And on the bench for the Suns is Jeff Hornacek, probably one of the tougher coaches in the league. He'll bend your ear if you make mental errors.
Now here's Jordan. Deep 2 from Crawford. Tyson Chandler grabs the board. Bledsoe against Pierce. Weems passes to Bledsoe. It's gets hauled in by Los Angeles. And for Coach Hornacek, Greg, you learn from one of the toughest coaches as a player. You know, several trips to the finals. And you know this guy well, Clark. Jerry Sloan was the guy that molded Jeff Hornacek.
One of the outstanding coaches in the history of the NBA, Jerry Sloan. Although Hornacek saw all that success in Utah, this is a homecoming job for him because he started his career in Phoenix.
Josh Smith, he's checked in for the Clippers. Rivers comes in for Paul. And for the Suns, P.J. Tucker comes in for Warren. And Knight subbed in for Eric Bledsoe.
1 for 5 on offense. A slow start here in the second half.
And count it, 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line. So we'll see Jamal Crawford go to the line here. It goes on Brandon Knight. Phoenix making some changes. Alex Len comes in for Chandler. And it's John Lure in for Markieff Morris.
And guys, Josh Smith, an interesting blend of talents. A good defender, great finisher around the rim. Also an underrated passer at times for a big man.
Now that was pretty. A beautiful move to set up the jump shot.
Clippers leading by 3. Rivers kicks to Smith. Jordan the screen. Smith dishes to Crawford. He feeds it to Rivers. Can't hit. The Suns go the other way with it. Josh Smith, kind of a tweener. He spent some time at power forward. Clark, he spent some time at small forward. He's handled the ball. He's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, he is, but I think he's best, Kevin, working inside. He's gotten stronger. He's worked on his post game, and I think as time has passed, he's settled in as a full-time power forward. At least that's where he should settle into.
Here's Rivers. Phoenix able to drain the 3. Jordan the screen. Los Angeles with another miss.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
Lure can't hit. For Los Angeles, they've gone 3 of 8 so far in the third quarter, looking to lock in that rhythm. Rivers kicks to Pierce. Nails the wide-open jump shot. Pierce has got 10 points.
His shooting has been outstanding here. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Phoenix calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Let's use this break for a quick look at the squads that really made it happen on the fast break last season. The Suns third.
I mean, this is such a tough team to deal with. You see the numbers. They would just push the ball at every opportunity.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Johnson's checked in. And the Suns also making a change. Booker's checked in. Tucker with the ball. Down low, knocks it loose, and stolen by Jordan. Here's Johnson. Out of bounds, Phoenix will take possession.
And how about the numbers here for Brandon Knight? A very nice season for him last year. Put up about 17 points a game, 5 assists and 4 rebounds. And when he takes over at the point, he really keeps the offense flowing.
Well, his skill set is solid. He's a good ball handler. He makes good decisions in playmaking. He's really the ideal backup.
Here's Crawford. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for the Clippers.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off. at all.
They've also been pounding it inside tonight and coming away with a lot of points in the paint. I call those PIPs.
And the second free throw, good.
Boy, for Jamal Crawford, guys, it's been a really good career. Not many guys can maintain his level of quickness after 15 years in the league. I mean, but last season, he finally started to show a little wear and tear.
Now here's Rivers. Brandon Knight missing his last shot. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play. That'll put Austin Rivers on the line. Alex Len picks one up. Austin Rivers traded to the Clippers last year. A change of scenery did him well, and he was comfortable coming off the bench.
And that's a great point, Kevin. I mean, he seemed to get steady playing time, and that's what he needed most. And also, he wasn't defined by a position. They were able to find a niche role for him to play in.
Now, here is Knight. 7 points in the game. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And, you know, the role for Rivers last season was that of a bench scorer. I mean, not sure if he'll ever be a starter, but he can be a part of a winning basketball team with his skill set.
For Phoenix, they have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
And their free throw percentage as a unit last year, 76%, right around the middle of the road. And with the trade last season, Rivers became the first son ever to play for his father. His dad, of course, being Doc Rivers.
And Phoenix making a change here. Warren's checked in. What a season for Alex Len last year. Came in looking to find a spot for the team, and he made huge jumps in his game.
And I think it correlated with his minutes going up as well. I mean, played a lot more minutes, and he's a very complete big guy. With the added minutes, the production has gone up as expected.
And here is Knight. Pass to Book. Lets it go with a 3. And that's not going to go. The third quarter comes to a close. Los Angeles on top, leading by 4. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us.
Yeah. I realize this. I realize this. Respect this here. Check. I realize.
We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. Suns trail by 4. On the court now for the Suns, getting going here in the fourth. Bledsoe and Knight of the backcourt. Warren is out there with Markieff Morris, and it's Chandler in at the center position. And that one's good. That's 12 points for Markieff Morris. The Clippers shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. Bledsoe against Paul. Outside Griffin. It's Pierce on the wing. Back to Griffin. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
I tell you what, you don't want to allow too many of those kinds of baskets with the game on the line.
This is when the defenders really have to protect the basket. You need to be in sync as a unit defensively. The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Good. 16 points for Markieff Morris.
Loose D here. Critical stretch. I mean, you better off sending them to the free throw lines than to have them get that good a look.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
I tell you what, guys, it was a bit of a mixed bag for Eric Bledsoe last season. Average career highs in rebounds and assists. Those were the good parts. But for some reason, the field goal and three-point percentages dropped 30-plus points.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
During that break, Coach Rivers had some words for his team. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
And talking about Eric Bledsoe, he took on a lot more responsibility last season, Greg, especially after the trades in Phoenix. He became the main focal point of their offense.
And you know what? It was his first year of kind of being the man. Signed a big contract coming into the season, and now there's a responsibility that goes with being the go-to guy. Eric has the talent to shine, though, in that role. I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
Now here's Bledsoe. And there's the feed to Chandler to take the lead. Morris, no good. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Johnson the screen. Here's Rivers. Los Angeles with another miss. For Phoenix, they've gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. Bledsoe passes to Warren. Morris dishes to Weems. Feeds to Warren. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Bledsoe. Here's Chandler. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Wesley Johnson picks one up. And the free throw is good, now leading by 1.
You know, there was a time when some thought Tyson Chandler would be a draft bust. But, you know, it took some time before he found his niche and has been one of the best bigs in the NBA for the span of his career. You know, that shows you also when you draft guys out of high school, they're going to need a couple more years to really define who they are as players. Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
And the Suns call time. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thank you, guys. I had a chance to find out what Jeff Hornacek was discussing with his players. He made no mistake that their plan was to run their offense through Morris. Coach reminded them that he is supposed to be the key factor tonight, and he still wants to see that happen. Guys, they're operating under the principle that it's never too late to fine-tune the game plan. Kevin, over to you.
And thank you for that, Doris. Deep 2 from Crawford. They get the rebound. The shot's good from Jordan.
And you can just see by the way he fought for the putback that he's still got a lot of gas in the tank.
Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Bledsoe kicks to Morris. That's in for his 8th bucket tonight. A hot 8 for 11 shooting so far.
How about raising his game here in the fourth quarter? Missing just 1 of his 5 attempts so far.
Jordan the screen. Griffin passes to Jordan. Crawford outside. Back to Jordan. The Clippers rebound. For Phoenix, they've gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Out to Morris. Takes the 3. Another 3 for Phoenix.
Confident and composed on the three-point shot at a critical juncture. Clutch.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They trail by 3. We've got 1:48 left in the fourth quarter of this one. We've got 1:48 left in the game. Paul dishes to Griffin. From 10 feet out, that one goes. Count. Griffin's got 4 points in the quarter.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Timeout call, the Suns. They're leading by 1. 1:37 left to play here in the fourth. Here's Weems. 1:29 left in the fourth quarter. Morris a screen. Pass to Weems. There's the three. Rebound by the Clippers. Jordan's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Ball against Bledsoe. Paul kicks to Griffin. And he elevates for the slam dunk. Tyson Chandler did not like that. Wow.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and one reason why, I just don't know that I've ever seen him miss a play like that.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Jam. Here's Weems, guarded by Crawford. Weems passes to Bledsoe, and it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Bledsoe.
Oh, that certainly could be costly. In a close one, those kinds of mistakes can really give the other team momentum.
Clippers have gone 6 of 11 since the start of the fourth quarter. Paul kicks to Griffin. Puts up the baby hook. Morris with the rebound. And it's Phoenix's ball. They trail by 1. Bledsoe dishes to Chandler. Warren. Here's Morris. Count it!
Clutch shot right there. That could be the difference maker.
Indeed, it might be a big, huge moment in this game right there.
And the Clippers call time here. They're down by 1. We've got 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
I think it's a no-brainer here. You got to go 2 for 1 to maximize the clock.
Important, and you're right about clock management. I mean, this is a great opportunity here, but first and foremost, they have got to get a quality shot.
We've got 33 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Bledsoe against Paul. Yes!
Well, you know what? Griffin's got him falling in right now, that's for sure.
Phoenix calls timeout. They're down by 1. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Weems. Oh, missed it. Bledsoe outside. Morris with the screen for Bledsoe. Out to Morris. Fades. So it's Los Angeles taking the W in a close one. What a show they put on here at home tonight.
Tremendous work all the way down to the wire. We were just wondering what would happen next. Major drama. We saw good.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Blake, tell us about the energy out there tonight. It seemed like there was a ton of intensity on the floor.
Yeah, that's something we talked about. We talked about not being complacent and settling for jump shots. Talked about getting to the hole and playing stuff on defense, and I thought that's what our guys did tonight.
Thanks for your time, Blake. Kevin, back to you.
Doris, thank you as always. And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for tuning in. And now time to send it over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the postgame show.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Blake Griffin. He made all the key plays every step of the way. They depend on him to deliver these sorts of performances, and he helped carry his team tonight.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. Wow. I'm getting jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
Is there anyone in the NBA who's more straight up scary than Blake Griffin? I don't think so. Big, strong, powerful, with the skills to match that athleticism. If you're a defender in the post and you see Blake Griffin coming down the lane, the only thing you think is, uh-oh, the man is just a beast.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.